of sexual abuse. And a lot of times I struggled with where she was in that. And I think that I built up an anger, not even knowing that towards her, just as protector. What were you doing during this time frame? I was just frustrated because I felt like she didn't do the best she could do. And so I asked God to help me deal with that. And what he does, when you pray the will of God, she is sure to answer it. Yeah. He allowed me to see things and have a different set of eyes and look from her perspective, and to look at the abandonment that happened to her early, and to look at the domestic violence she incurred in that, and to look at all the things she was trying to do individually to provide. And he really allowed me to see that even if it wasn't my idea of the best, she literally did the best that she could possibly ever do. And sometimes people don't live up to our expectations, but God doesn't require more from us than our best. And so it's not fair for me to have that expectation on her. And God in his sovereignty allowed me to go through those things that helped me learn to depend, to trust, to grow in him, even though there were difficult things. And he allows me to be in this position to also to relate to other believers who go through the same thing. So now we can be in the trenches together. And so that's that piece. Lastly, just know that this But God shirt is a testimony. Like, anybody who knows the scripture by heart, if you're the first one back there at my table, you can have this shirt for free. I'm a firm believer in memorizing scripture. It's time to get over John 3:16. I love John 3:16. But you know this in Sunday school. And it's time to step your game up and memorize some more scripture. Because some of us are wondering why we're still going through things, because we're trying to fight a spiritual battle from a physical standpoint. We think we're just going to will ourselves out of the situation. No, you're going to learn to fight with this word. Okay, so even Ephesians 2 just talks about how wretched we really are, how we are literally by nature children of wrath. Literally, that's who we are. But God, who is rich in mercy, I'm not going to give the rest, because that's your job to know it. Like, and when people have a situation with me and they want to talk stuff like, but Jeanette, like, you don't even deserve to be in a position you're in, because if people really knew your history, like, really for real, they wouldn't even, you know what, you're so right. So this piece is entitled Entertainment. I would say I hope you enjoy it, but that's not really my nature. I just hope that you get it. And I hope that it convicts, and I hope that it helps. And I really sincerely thank Cleveland, just all of y'all, just for being here and packing this place out. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. All right, so I really liked it. It was so amazing. Just the ambiance when you walked in was so cool, right? They had really dim lights, a really dope stage. When I walked in, I just felt swaggy. Like, they had free Wi-Fi, they had free breakfast, they had a coffee bar. It was just super dope. Now, there is one that's much closer to my house. That one's like 30 to 40 minutes away, but there's just like a lot of old people at that one, so it's just not as fun, not as entertaining. What else? Now, the praise and worship team, they were off the chain. They sang two of my favorite songs. The other two have to go. First of all, nobody's staying awake during those hymns anymore. And I am a fan of Chris Tomlin and Phil Wickham and Carrie Joe. But every now and then, I still just need a little in my life. We act like we're scared now. Like, I know the contemporary Christian music seems like it takes you higher, because we say, I only want to be with you. They say, I only want to be with you. That's the Holy Ghost. But anyway, it was still really good. Now, there was a problem. They didn't have a singles ministry, and I'm just kind of confused, because who doesn't have a singles ministry this day and age? Now, if they don't have a singles ministry, how am I supposed to, okay, not important, but they did have like a huge young adults ministry, so I was like, cool, I can go to that, just dress real cute, and look available, since I know it's not my job to go after a man or anything. Then I looked around, and I just didn't see enough people who really look like me. I mean, where are all the rest of the black people in this piece? Now, the pastor, he was amazing. He was off the chain. He was hilarious. He was telling all these jokes. And I didn't feel like judged or anything. His sermon was really good. It was jam-packed with just a lot of good. His sermon was about how, no, don't judge me. The sermon, okay, hold on, did he open the Bible? Don't laugh. He quoted something. And it's probably something about God being love, I mean, all that good stuff. But anyways, he dresses really young. He has like 100,000 followers, and like all the celebrities always shout him out like he's their pastor as well. Then there was the wife. Totally not as cool. I don't know. She prayed and I felt nothing. Like, seriously, I sat there in my spirit, I tried. No Holy Ghost. I just didn't feel the anointing when she prayed. And on top of that, that she doesn't have an Instagram, so it's kind of like, excuse me, ma'am, what are you hiding? Like, who doesn't have an Instagram in this day and age? Like, the Bible says to go into all nations. What better way to go into all nations than to have a social media presence? It's like immediate. I loved the fact that I could just really feel like I was doing what I was supposed to do. By the way, it's a really huge church, so I got to network and pass out cards for my business, all while not having anyone really in my business. That was cool. And I just love that it feels like a church where I don't feel like I have to like really join or like commit or like serve. And like if I miss a few Sundays here and there, which I tend to do, like nobody's gonna really even notice. As opposed to like small churches. And it's like they get the church director and they're like, sis, where are you? Sis, none of your business. And at the end of the day, it's not like I have to go to church to be a Christian. Seriously. God's concerned with my spiritual growth, not me attending this building every single week. And when I don't go, I do read my Bible. A little. Verse a day, Bible app. Can you see it crumbling right before our eyes? Why do we keep building on this faulty, selfish, self-seeking, sinful foundation? And you won't be able to blame the pastor because you've always had access to the blueprint. But I guess you wouldn't have read the second chapter of Acts if you're just sitting in church pews waiting for the performance of the next act. Can you see it? There was no way he is chief cornerstone to this. We were meant to be brick built on and for him. Nowadays, church selected to become more and more about being provided with amusement and enjoyment based on personal preference, which happens to be the definition of entertainment. Can you see it deteriorating? Like the gospel has always transcended time and space. We stay in awe of skyscrapers, mere man-crafted plans constructed in pride, forgetting the greater one, who sculpted the earth and the whole universe, suspended the earth on nothing, and then decided that that was its proper place. Can you see? And can you look at all the cracks in the walls from trying to carry out our own personal architectural plans of what we think is best? Forgetting Noah's submission and commitment to obey God's instruction to the exact cubit, we've allowed the prophetic Old Testament to completely escape our memory. We'd rather put imitation faith in being held up by scaffolds than to trust in the one who is high and lifted up and crucified once for all. We were given a script. Our writer, director, and producer are 3 in 1 in the same. Somehow we thought we could cross this out and add our name, making revisions and additions when our small supporting roles make very clear from the narrow gate. But hey, since entertainment sells. And now with just the mention of a little bit of Jesus, we can all say it's based on a true story that gives him absolutely no glory. Valet vehicles giving us curbside service pulling us right up to the door of church cliques. Red carpets drenched in the sin of partiality. We have to completely demolish what we think church is supposed to be in our minds. How else would we get to the point of literally worshiping with every nation, tongue, and tribe as it states in Revelation 7:9? Ephesians teaches that church is God's idea, not an institution by man. So if we're to love what he loves, then we should have a hunger for truth, with a desire to follow his exact plan and commands. Now there may be some of us who don't know, but we don't know because we don't seek. We don't open the words for ourselves and try to eat just a lackadaisical belly full of expectation to be fed with being given, never reading the ingredients. We have no idea what organic truth tastes like. But how can we become obedient when our tongues have become a grumbling Israel, dissatisfied with the way he has chosen to manifest himself? We can't identify additives, preservatives, a diluted gospel, or sugar-coated lies, so when will we be who our bridegroom desires us to be, dear bride? Let us be the church. The scripture is the absolute authority, church. Where the doctrine is solid, church. A continual pursuit of perseverance of holiness kind of church. A great pastor with multiple godly leaders, church. Where the teaching is expositional and the preaching and discipleship is intentional. A church that is a Bible teaching, water baptizing, observing of the Holy Communion church. A church where the praise and worship team is not your personalized Spotify playlist, but a Christ-centered, glorifying opportunity to glorify him kind of church. A church submitted to his divine will church, an evangelistic church, a church that has a consistent and serving presence in the whole community kind of church. A church that loves in word and deed kind of church. I mean, love enough to encourage and confront sin church. A church full of believers. Because Christ is completely and totally committed. It is our desire to completely and wholeheartedly be conformed into his image. It is my prayer, it is my desire that we fight, that we slay, this consistent fleshly desire to constantly be entertained.